you understand?
I mean, we chat three ways. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not the Please, stand there so that you will appear properly. Okay, gentlemen.
So that is a good news, isn't it? That they have been safely evacuated from the country that detained them for over a week. Now back to Nigeria. Yesterday, currently, APC, they are holding their own party convention or something. And this is being held, in Abuja, of course, right? And I think it's actually in the banquet hall of the Asshole Rock. So practically, Asshole Rock is more or less like the APC, Bekebe's headquarters. So they hold their party stuff in there, right? So Kolu was talking to, again, this is what the normal people from Lagos we called, Ege, dribble. For those who are very familiar with this game, right? So Kolu was telling the supposed large sort of congregation of his own party leadership, including state governors, deputies, and all of them, right? So he sat before them and he was telling them about why this time around they have to do something about the local government autonomy. You know what I mean? They have to do something about the state police. Similar things that he actually said almost same time last year. Hang on. It's almost going to be 2 years. By February next year, that's 2 months away, right? It is going to make it like 2 exact years that the Supreme Court of Nigeria delivered that judgment. And the person who initiated the case was Tinubu's Attorney General, Fagbemi. Now, Fagbemi sued all the state, all the state governors and what have you, so that they would allow the local government to receive their own money. But it also needs what is called, legislative kind of like a constitutional amendment, so to say. Then after that, I think 2 months or so later, Kolu published what he called the executive order. Executive order. From now on, all the local governments in Nigeria will be receiving their money. By the time Kolu did 2 years in office in May this year, they already listed local government autonomy as part of Tinubu's achievements, like the problem of insecurity, right? Before Tinubu, the president of the country is considered as the person who is responsible for issue of insecurity. Say all the the box stops on his table. But when Tinubu, it actually started from Bukwari anyway. So APC, Egbekebe today, they are now saying that the security of Nigerians and the rest of that is not so. Wholly the responsibility of Tinubu. What is your state governor doing? So similarly, Tinubu that is taking the medal, put a medal on himself that he has granted local government autonomy. It's part of his achievement. They've listed it as part of his achievement, by the way. Local government autonomy. Today, rather than hold him responsible for that, right? They just go back to the governors and say, the governors will not allow it. There are the problems. Now, Tinubu controls the National Assembly. As it is right now, they control the National Assembly, Senate, and the reps. Tinubu controls at least now nearly 30 state governments. And that's APC. I'm using Tinubu because APC is Tinubu now. Tinubu is APC now, something like that, right? You barely could differentiate between them, right? So they met, and as usual, okay, it was wrapping them. We're going to go to what happened today, but this was yesterday.
Welcome all of us again and again and again. The development in the party. This is the highest body. And you have to navigate this country, whether we like it or not. You are in the leadership position that must yield and continue to promote, tolerate, and be flexible. Get involved in whatever is happening in your various states up to local government level. I had a very long discussion with the US and European. I was bragging to them that definitely we will pass a state police to improve security. They asked me if I'm confident, and I say yes. I have a party to depend on. I have a party that will make it happen. And if at this level we fail, God forbid, we will not fail. So I think the reconciliation, the accommodation, the flexibility is in your hands, all of you. And we are the majority. We are the leaders. Let us equally look at the recent Supreme Court judgments. What can we do with it? And how well we can position our country and our party. To me, the local government autonomy it is and must be effective. Let us give them. There is no autonomy without funded mandates. We'll give them their money directly. That's the truth. That's compliance of the Supreme Court. Take the leadership seriously. I will turn to Bayelsa to appeal to to accept our condolences for the deputy governorship demands. May so rest in peace. And let's continue to pray for our country and work together. We need more women in this caucus. I think we should make provisions for that. Patricia Ete, so
Don't worry, it's not all boring, okay? But like I said, like somebody actually pointed out, just word salad. Supreme Court ruled that local government allocation should be paid straight directly to the local governments. That's the ruling of the Supreme Court. You don't need anybody's opinion after that. And if Tinubu indeed is a Mr. Strategist who wants better for Nigeria and not just politics, because right now the bubble is about to burst. We are going to be here when it happens. You get what I mean? So everybody, all these criminals, they are found sanctuary. Election riggers and the rest of them, they found sanctuary. So people won't really matter anymore. He is managed within 2.5 years to push Nigeria straight to a one-party state, something that they are going to put to test in your 2027 charade. So it's got all the control. Like, if anybody has any plan to change a country in this capacity politically, if you have any plan of changing a country, there is no better chance than a chance or a time or a period like this. You want to fight corruption? You want to end insecurity like the terrorism? You want to develop your country? You want budget transparency, accountability, and what have you, right? There is no better time than when you have everyone under your fingertips, when they can do whatever you want them to do. Or better still, it is not actually as it appears. Let me explain that. For those who have possibly studied the Tinubu and his way of, style of politics, right? He understands the vanity of, this power, this money, power, and the rest of that, and how much people, right, hover around you if they believe that they can actually benefit directly from you. So in this instance, politically, so that is why you can possibly see him with somebody who said all the horrible things. Because to Tinubu, right, the moment, even if you said horrible things about him, right, it doesn't matter. The moment you come around, it is the perspective that matters. Do you understand? Like, when everybody feels like, oh, people seems to hate him a lot. But when they see him around, they kind of hover around him and start praising him. When they have the chance of saying it to his face, whatever they said behind him, they suddenly just cowered. And eventually, so he understands that so well. And there is no real authority in that. It is a give and take thing. Do you understand? It's a give and it needs to also give in to their own, to these guys' vanity. Those who wants to remain governors, or those who wants to keep their loot, or those who want to, enjoy the patronage here and there. They don't care if the entire polity is headed for the rock. Doesn't matter. As long as they can benefit from it, okay? He understands that very well. And that is why he can't tell them to stop stealing. He can't tell them he can't stop them from scheming. Do you understand? He can't jail them, because if he starts actually following the law, it simply means he's going to jail all his friends. And he wouldn't do that. To develop Nigeria, to change the way the country is, for somebody who controls the National Assembly, controls the military, controls the judiciary, then controls these gluttons, these political, criminals called governors and lawmakers and the rest of them. He controls them, but he doesn't control them in reverse. They control him. They give him what he wants, which is give him the support that makes him feel like he is actually our leader, is everything. In return, he will look away from our own iniquities. He will have to look away. And our own iniquities contribute to the failure that his government represents. He talks about reforms. He talks about the economy taking turn and the rest. And none of this actually matches the reality. But yet, they praise him. They go to him, they say, oh my God, you've changed our lives. You are so, many people won't see what you're trying to do for us. All those things. All vanity. They are running an economy where nobody can tell how much is Nigeria actually making from the taxes, from the loans, and all. They shield everything they are doing in secrecy. And they come out to tell you how transparent they are, opposite of everything they say they are. And I'm somebody who pay attention to what they do than what they say. Not just what they say, what salad. Everybody can talk. But it is what they do. that actually really, really matters. You know, so Kolu telling them to cooperate, it's like saying the Supreme Court of the country and its own supposed authority is not really binding. Politicians will have to decide if they want to obey it or not. And why is that? Because they have the tradition of choosing, cherry picking, choose and pick which of the court judgment they will obey or not. Supreme Court of the country. And that's where you have found yourself, right? And let's kind of fast forward to today. Every year, they come here, they remind you that they are lying to you. Some people will call me a pessimist, somebody who just would never see anything good in them. I want to see good that they are doing, okay? But the thing is that there is none. Unfortunately, there is none. But people have been so battered. People have been so beaten for decades, right? That sometimes, okay, they just have to make do with whatever is given to them. As effed up as all those kind of things are, do you get what I mean? As messed up as they might be, people just still want to say, okay, then the bubble burst. And they're like, they are looking for who to blame. So I've been called enemy of Nigeria, enemy of this, enemy of that. And everything I have pointed out on this platform, they've all come to pass. But nobody came back to say, oh, you did say something about that though. They write budgets every now and then, but it never really affects you, like, positively. Except for when they are planning to take more money from you, squeeze it, and you never know what they do with the money. They roll out these big figures of how much money they are making. There is no roots, any kind of a traceable source for them. But guess what? They continue banging them and pushing them until reality will set in. Then when you ask questions, they find another grammar in the book to make you, possibly confuse you. Last year, Tinubu wrote a budget of over 50 trillion naira, 54 trillion, I think. And they gave it a name. It's a prosperity. This is a and we're like, hey, just take a look at what is happening, not what these clowns, these criminals are saying. They have fund, they are printing money, funding your budget, supposed budget with borrowed money. And at the same time, they are increasing your taxes, increasing this tariff, increasing that tariff. They are declaring so much money as money they actually realized from revenue. But when you now kind of put them side by side, they don't make any sense. You don't even have to be an accountant to know all of that. You just need to pay attention to what they are doing, not what they are saying. Just pay attention and you see through it. And you can easily predict here where this is headed. We all know where this is headed. The voodoo economy. 54 trillion naira, they were expecting to raise 40 trillion naira. They projected it, 2025, they will raise 40 trillion naira. And they will do this and that. They went as far as lying to Nigerians that Tinubu has paid off some debts. And therefore, before Tinubu, they were spending 98% of Nigerians' revenue on debt servicing. It was easily sold. And then they said, oh yeah, Tinubu has reduced that to just about 60%. He said it himself publicly, repeatedly. Then go and check the book. Number one, when you try to actually go and look for available information about their own supposed fiscal expenses and the rest of that, right? Then you found nothing. Absolutely nothing. But with the little that you can find, you can easily tell where the lies are. Borrowing, hiding them, using these, all these borrowing conditions to further devalue the currency. And all these backdoor dealings that these guys have committed great treasons against Nigeria repeatedly. And it's more or less like a state policy now. So they are now just telling us, because Kolu told us 2 months ago, he bragged about it, in fact, of how much success is, is revenue generation and the rest of that they've been. Oh, we've met our 2025 revenue targets. I was like, oh, stop collecting taxes then. Like, you've met the target, meaning you plan to raise 40 trillion naira. Okay, from the money from crude oil, from money from taxes, from money from this non-oil. He even bragged that a non-oil revenue is more than oil revenue. This was 2 months ago. Only for his own Minister of Finance, Economic Planning, to now come out and then say,